So Mike has already thrown the coach under the bus once.
Now he's drafting players.
Now he's Mel Kiper. Okay. So don't tell me about and look, I don't want to hear any more people taking up for Micah Parsons. Okay. Tell me what superstar player is giving draft tips on Twitter when their team sucks.
While their team is falling apart.
While the team's falling apart. So you number one, you do a podcast. Number one, that's first and foremost. Okay, so and you can say you do it on your off time. That's fine. Guess what? Well, you know what? I was getting ready to say how many Chiefs are doing podcasts, but then you got Travis Kelce, so I guess that's not a good example. My point, I guess it depends on, where the hierarchy of your football team is and kind of, if you're winning, it's okay to do a podcast. When you're losing, it's not so great to do a podcast, right? And that's kind of what we've seen with Micah Parsons. So with Micah, again, great guy on the field. You love what he brings to your football team. I guess what bothers me is I just don't know how much he even cares.
So Marcus Mosher, who is the host of Locked On Cowboys and Locked On Dynasty and a writer at 33 Team, he tweeted out this morning. Assuming Travis Hunter is out of the question, my favorite pick for the Cowboys in round 1 is Missouri receiver Luther Burden III.
Yeah, I saw that.
He is everything they need right now, opposite of CeeDee Lamb. Typical Cowboys media draft talk.
He's everything based off of what? Like, what?
Talking about for Luther Burden?
Well,
I haven't dove into the tape with him from Missouri. I've heard good things about him, so I can't really speak on or against that right now. But
he's and Luther's had a rough year because his quarterback situation's been a hot mess.
Has not been great. So
plus he's been hurting their backups terrible.
So Mr. Mosher for Cowboys media wanted them to draft Luther Burden, just throwing out draft stuff.
Sure.
It gets some traction because Micah Parsons, number 1 for your Dallas Cowboys, quote tweets it and says this: "Give me Anthony Hill from Texas with Demo, Jalen Walker, or my favorite, Abdul Carter." So now this is the part that if you're a Cowboys fan, I think some of them in the replies like, yo, those are great players, and they are. But then you take 2 steps back and you blink and you go, wait, this is not not a Cowboys media member chiming in. This is my star player saying that. Because what do you do?
He is the director of content for Bleacher Report, though, so he's got 2 jobs he's got to do.
This is the weird part about sports and players doing podcasts now. And I'm not breaking news with this, just bringing some context. You're inadvertently roasting your teammates when you do this. Because you're saying that position that they're playing, Anthony Hill, linebacker, Carter, I believe defensive lineman, you're pretty much saying those guys aren't doing well enough. We need to go get there. Even if it's true. Blake is not saying it's not true.
He's dead on.
But
I'm not
when
mad
your
at him for that
player
part.
is saying, like, hey, they got him, he left. Not great.
Not great.
If we could go get another guy, we would be great. Now, if a general manager drafts it, ask Micah about it in private, I'd love that we did that. But you don't see players, you don't see Patrick Mahomes go, man, I really wish we had a receiver because these receivers are hot garbage.
These guys are booty.
And when they do that, we don't speak well of them, a la Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Man, my receiver room is X, Y, and Z. I need to fix it. And what do we do in the media? We
roast him.
We crucify guys like that. Like, hey, we can think that. It can be true. The media can talk about it. But you as a quarterback, you have to have undenying faith in your team, even if we don't. Same as if you're Micah Parsons. We got a great defense. Whether you don't believe it in your head, we need to play better. We got the guys in here. We need to build it. Not like, man, I'm already looking at the draft. Man, this guy would be great for our team. That guy would be great. He went on to say, he was asked about Hill can't even come out of the draft this year. Anthony Hill from Texas. He quoted it, damn, he played like a grown man. He's special. So another time of like, hey, he's inadvertently saying this guy is playing really hard.
Yeah.
We need that on this team. The rest of the Micah Parsons, and then I will shut up. Another John Owning, friend of the program, said, me watching Abdul Carter rush the passer, dude is really putting it together, and it's a gif of someone being shocked. Micah said, I had him on the lab now. When he wearing that star, man, oh man. He then tweeted, defense wins championships, excuse me. Build this defense while we got a young superstar. Yes, he's talking about himself right there. We will win more games holding teams to 20 or less points than offensive shootouts. #facts.
Okay, he said build this team while we still got a young superstar.
Is he talking in third person?
Well, here's what he's okay, because you're about to get paid next year, Micah, right? I mean, we don't expect you to play on because he's going into what, year 5?
Yeah.
All right, he's not going to play on that.
He's not going to play on a one-year deal, you would assume.
No, he's going to want a deal. And so,
are these not some crazy tweets? Like if a Cowboys media member is tweeting the exact same thing, I don't even know if we're bringing it up on the show. It's just another media member. This is somebody on the Dallas Cowboys.
The fact that it's Micah is not surprising.
I didn't say surprising, just crazy. Like, I didn't wake up this morning like, oh my gosh, I've never seen this from Micah. What is he doing acting out of left field? I'm just like,
I guess where I'm not as torn up about it is that on one hand, look, clearly he's watching games on Saturday, right? I mean, hell, think about it. The guy didn't play for 5 weeks, so I mean, he's watching a lot of ball. 2, team does need middle linebacker, right? I mean, Kendricks is gone, and he knows that.
Nothing he said was wrong. It's just who it's coming from.
I don't. Because it's him, I mean, it's par for the course. This is what he does. And so I guess what you do is you factor in this is part of who this guy is, right?
If you're in that locker room and you see those tweets, defense needs to be better, whole team's under 20 points, we need to draft this guy, draft that guy.
But you're already, this is the same guy that will have opposing players on a podcast the day after you got your ass kicked. Okay, this is the same guy that for 5 weeks while he wasn't playing, and he was hurt. I mean, again, we're not taking anything away from that, but again, you know enough about sports and you do enough shows with professional athletes, like you're banished from, not banished, but you're not a part of the team, right? Guys talk about it all the time. When you're hurt, you're the loneliest guy in the world because you're not a part of the team. You're going through treatment. You're trying to get right, and everybody else is doing their thing because they don't have time to talk to you, right? They got work to do, and so for 4 or 5 weeks. I mean, look, I've seen it 2 or 3 times where they pan to him during the game and he's sitting on the bench laughing or cracking jokes. You know, when he was hurt, he's laid back and, got a leg up and, shooting the breeze with his guys. And so
it's just a maturity thing. And I think,
and at what point does it flip?
Unfortunately, I think my biggest takeaway from the season is Micah Parsons is not the leader of your team.
I mean, you wish he was.
You wish he was, and I wanted to give him benefit of the doubt of just people are giving him a hard time. He's young.
Yeah.
But it just feels like every time he has a chance to be a true leader, I just don't think he has the right people in his ear for what a true leader is. I think he's trying. I don't think he's purposefully going out like, I'm going to tarnish my leadership status.
But here's the thing. Why do we think he's a leader, though?
I think
when just because he's the best player on the defense?
When you have the best player on your team, you hope they are a leader. You see it time in and time out, and you give him benefit of the doubt that he's going to figure it out. But have you heard any glaring reviews of him being a great leader? Or have you heard glaring reviews from his mouth himself? Like, even if not going off other people's word, just watching them yourself, it's very hard to make an argument that, hey, this guy is a great player and a great leader of men when the times are down, where they're rallying around him. Great player. No one is like taking anything away he does on the football field. It's more so what he does off the football field that gives me concerns.
Micah wants to come play football. He's going to give you most of what he's got for 60 minutes, and then he's going to go be whatever when he's not on the field, and that's what you get out of him.